Wow, this is the thrill. Welcome to the thrill. Giving you something that's real. Tell me how you really feel. Now that you're hearing the thrill. I was all on my own. Now we're looking at it home. Spit the dish up from the dome. My looking, we gone, and this is the thrill. Welcome to the thrill. Giving you something that's real. Tell me how you really.
What a sweet day.
What's going on, guys? What's
I don't
going
know, man.
on?
What was that? What's this whole he's
Huh?
smoking a little bit of
It's
cigarette
at
weed?
it's at the corner. It's not here. This is smoking. This is fancy.
Oh, this is the mustache mountain.
The mustache, which I have clearly shaved. It's
You
my
have
own
clearly
kind
is
of day.
taking it off.
The grays were getting on my nerves. So
Oh, so you went Bautista.
I went straight Bautista. Oh, jockstrap. What about you, man? How you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. You know, just been super busy with everything, just life. But holding up. Uh,
Good.
Hey, so everybody, if you we got some good topics for you. Before we jump into that, always like to make sure we remind you guys, like, subscribe to our channel, follow us on our Twitter and our Instagram page. And if you guys want to stay up to date, we'll definitely be posting whenever we do more lives, more footage, more content for you guys. We'd love to continue, just kind of interacting with everybody. We love every interaction we've gotten.
Yes, on top of that, would you guys please let us know what you want to talk about? If you know us by name, if you know us by number, text us. Hey, what you doing on Sunday? Hey, what you doing on Sunday? Unless we'll let you know if we're not gonna be here. But it's always on a Sunday between 10 and 12 or whatever we start. We
Eat us
got
enough time,
lives.
people.
We got lives and kids. Yeah, but let us know what you guys want to talk about. Let us know the topics. Felix has this thing going on with Field Review. I'm gonna be starting the horror corner again. I got 180 movies in a list that I could talk about, so you can go for weeks and weeks and weeks. But let me know specifically what you guys want to talk about. But Felix, what are we talking about today?
Today? Are we talking about today?
Today.
We're not talking about practice.
No, we ain't
talking
about
about
you gotta show up to practice to talk about practice.
So today we're talking about the Elimination Chamber that happened yesterday. Wow. I remember I messaged you right after the show going, oh my God, one of their better pay-per-views they've put on in a long time for Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, because we got home around like 10. And I was like, man, I wonder if it's over. And then I went and like it was perfect timing because it was right when Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn was going.
Oh, so you
He
caught it
was
right
still,
at the climax.
Sami was still going into his entrance, and then after that match, I went and I watched the rest of it. But fantastic. The wrestlers did their thing as always under Triple H. You know, they got creative freedom, as you could see. It's just spot upon spot that makes the crowd go wow. And what better place to do it than Canada, man?
Yeah. I think it was great for a lot of aspects. Obviously, if you were looking at the not just Sami Zayn's coming home, but also, you had Natalia coming back to Montreal. Just some of the matches that they put on were just, in the words of Drew McIntyre, banger after banger after banger after banger. It was just, oh my God. I needed to change my shorts. Had to change my shorts.
Oh my goodness.
We're going to jump right into it, to this topic right here, because I definitely want us to talk about so it opened up beautifully. They opened it up with the women's Elimination Chamber match, which was for number one contender to face Bianca Belair.
Yes. And who better, in my opinion, who better to win it? All those ladies are great. All those ladies, I hope and I feel personally, are either former champions or like Liv Morgan, but future champions, especially with Rachel, right? Rachel Rodriguez?
Raquel.
I'm sorry. Raquel Rodriguez.
Yep.
So, like, future champion
Encanto
is
herself.
She dressed up like that once, and I was like, wow.
She's done it a couple of times. Actually, her song sounds very much like Encanto, like it's fresh off the movie.
Oh, wow. It's a wonderful match, man. They did their thing. Who better to win it than a freshly repackaged Oscar?
Oh yeah,
Repackaged, because if you follow overseas, she's done this gimmick before, but WWE is fresh.
yeah.
Yeah.
The evil clown gimmick for her is just so perfect for her to push it because
Mhm.
it's hers. This is her gimmick she did in over in New Japan, or
Yes.
not New Japan, but over in Japan.
Yes.
And with how they, her wrestling style is, it's just magical. Like she's done wonders with it. And everybody in this match, aside from Raquel, is former champions.
In their
So
own right.
no, actually, in almost every single one of Carmella's held the title twice.
I
Nikki held the
forgot
title
about that.
once.
Yes.
Liv has held the title once. Asuka's held the title at least 4 times, I want to say, and Natalia's held the title about 3 times,
Wow.
3 or 4 times. She's held it a couple times herself.
Wow.
So the only one in this match who's not a champion or who's not a former champion is Raquel, but Raquel has held the NXT Women's Champion and Tag Team Championship, and if I'm correct, Raquel held the Women's Tag Team Championship in the main roster as well. So she has one title, she just hasn't won the title.
Right.
She was
You
my
can tell
sleeper.
that they're gearing up.
Yeah, she was my sleeper pick. I said that I thought she was gonna win. I thought they were gonna let Asuka ride the hot streak after Mania, like kind of continue building this evil clown gimmick for her. But they're riding right into Bianca Belair. And when I was talking to my brother last night while we were watching it, a lot of these, if you look at a lot of the storylines that are being built since Triple H has jumped in, a lot of these matches have been built as, I'm sorry for what happened. Here's your time in the light. Thank you for staying with us throughout the entire time since COVID. And I'm gonna keep building on that.
Let's fix
And
what was broken just purely by one man's. And I hate every time that we talk about WWE, I shit all over Vince McMahon. But
you said it, not me.
his thought process of what is and what isn't, like, with the fans, like what's hot, he's so disconnected. And it's like, man. And I see some disconnection here, but I also see where the storylines are going. That was a problem. You had
Yeah.
disconnection without proper storyline, but now you have disconnection that is playing into a storyline. So it's deliberate disconnection. And we'll talk about that.
And that's what I like.
Sammy versus Reigns.
Yeah, and I like that actually about it, because the storyline, you can almost maybe not see the ending, but you can kind of get a feel of what's gonna happen and go, okay, I'm not happy with this specific decision, but I know for the long haul this makes sense. And I think before we were having that issue as a fan where you're watching it going, that makes no sense. Why are we
going other than seeing exactly where it's going and still being disappointed? But the overall story, you're quite content with.
Yeah. And then going back to what the women's are looking at, Asuka's storytelling has been amazing. Nikki's changed back to being Nikki Cross, not ASH. Is great to see. She even has almost her old song of the yeah. And then and rumors, I hear EY may be coming back. Rumors.
They're trying to get Sanity back, which if they do, I feel on a smaller scale, Sanity does better.
Yes.
So
on the main roster in Triple H's hand, because Sanity was a monster of a team in NXT.
Yeah, it does great. And then they went to the main roster and it just, for whatever reason, it didn't work. Maybe they didn't give them the right push. Again,
they didn't use them in the correct storylines to build it. Just like if you look at what they're doing with the Viking Raiders, right? When they came to the main roster, they try to push them and it kind of worked because they held a couple titles, but then they would make them these goofy characters because they are funny guys. and I'll give them credit. They are very, very funny guys. But this team is a serious Viking team. These guys should be pushed like beast.
They should be
And
pushed like how they pushed AOP.
yeah. And I feel like since the revamp of Triple H taking over with them, he got them out of the storyline, took them off TV for a bit, brought back where I'm blanking on her name. This guy's wife.
Oh, Logan?
Yes, Sarah Logan.
Sarah Logan. Right.
And so he brought her back, and after bringing her back, pushing her into the storyline with them, it just sets this up to be just one hell of a team. So I'm noticing more and more that, you know, this change of characters like Nikki, changing Asuka, Liv, I think they still got to work with her because she's great. Her in-ring performance has been amazing.
Yeah.
It's just the mic skills. Some of her promos are still you want more out of it, but I can let that live. I caught that after I said that. That was a complete accident.
You're already home and you go.
But honestly, like, this women's match was great. Every single one of like what the women were doing, their spots. You know, it was well worth it, man. I couldn't. I remember I had to use the bathroom, and I wanted to wait because I was like, I gotta wait. I have to see what's going on with this, because the women were just on it. They definitely set up a good opening of the show.
Oh yeah. Set the pace. Great tempo. Again, with everything that Asuka has been doing, with everything that all of these women are doing, Carmella came back, I believe, from injury.
2 miscarriages. Yeah, she had 2 miscarriages. So that's what happened.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't. It was I know she posted on her social media, but but Corey Graves had been on TV, like not through all of it, but he had been on TV for a while. Then he kind of took a small break and came back to TV.
Yes.
So he never really had that. It made it feel like there was nothing really going on, but stuff was going on personally for them.
You're right. And when it comes to like WWE, I don't stick with it like, say, you or your younger brother Jay, but like especially Jay, like he's on it. But like for me, I'm a kind of like, you could say, a casual fan. I enjoy watching wrestling, but like other backstories. If I still don't see anybody on TV, I'm like, oh, maybe on vacation or injury. This is terrible.
Yeah, I think she had been out. Carmella was out for at least 6 months, maybe a little bit more. I could be wrong on the full timeline. I'll have to look into it, but yeah, it was about a solid 6 months. She was out of because of everything. Because I think she had the miscarriage. She came back to TV after like a couple months. She got pregnant again and then lost the baby again. So then she was off TV again. This time a lot longer because she really went through her mental health for that. So it was good to see her back in the ring. And I know a lot of people, a few of the guys that were watching it with us were like, oh God, Carmella, that means she's gonna, because when it came down to her and Asuka, we're like, oh, we're gonna get Carmella versus Bianca at Mania. And I was like, I don't think so. But honestly, Mella has done some great work in the ring. I think you could see a little bit of ring rust. But it wasn't too bad. She actually did. She did a thing out there.
Anything that you give her with her personality is very, like, it's kind of annoying, but you can't turn away. Kind of feel to her. She works with it. So like when she was getting married and she had that like diamond encrusted face.
Oh yeah,
to protect her face because she was getting married. Like she played that shit really well. Or the time when they were doing the dance offs for her and R-Truth, she worked with what you give her, and she's
a definite showman, definitely a showwoman.
Yeah, so title, another title reign in her future, yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah,
now I feel it's Asuka's time. It's definitely Asuka.
Well, yeah, right now, especially setting it up for what the women's look like going into Mania, you have Asuka versus Bianca, banger. And then surprisingly, which I don't know how I feel about the Rhea versus Charlotte match, because
I feel great about that. because it's pandemic, WrestleMania time, reborn and done correctly, hopefully.
But here's my thing about it, and this is the only reason why I say what I said. There's been no really build up. You haven't seen Rhea in SmackDown talking
Mm,
to Charlotte. Charlotte made one reference to Rhea said something about mommy in a promo.
mhm.
Um they haven't really done anything. Then Rhea had her own match in Elimination Chamber, which I'll jump into that as well because that
Yeah,
was a pretty good match. At her Balor versus Edge um
correct. And
and
Beth.
Beth.
Yeah,
And that was a pretty solid match, but it was weird because watching that match, you could see the gap of, and maybe because Beth has been out of the ring for some time, even though she's
yeah, you can
training,
feel
she
a little bit
trains
wrong.
with Edge.
Right,
You could see the huge gap in Beth Phoenix versus Rhea Ripley.
right,
Beth couldn't keep up with Rhea.
right. Well, you think about Beth, with the injuries that she's had. Not to be rude, but her age, and then the ring rust from not being in the ring for so long. She runs a good promo with Edge because it's like this Babylonian woman, very strong, kind of fierce
Yeah.
persona. But how do you push that in the ring? And you're against Rhea. Rhea's hasn't really had any time off other than the pacer situation. I think
Yeah.
she had some things where she had to get like her passport or her traveling
Yeah, she
situation.
had like small issues that took her off the TV at most like couple
Yeah, for
weeks.
here and there, but she's always consistently been on TV, and I think robbing her, and that's exactly what it was because it was her time back then, but it's even better time now of that title reign when she lost to Charlotte at WrestleMania. It was it really fueled her character
Yeah.
over time. So we already know from when she announced who she was going to face at WrestleMania what her intentions are and why she's doing it. So a build up, I feel, is only going to take like maybe 2 weeks, and you have the whole month of March coming. So you
True.
focus on different aspects of the matches and building those matches, setting those matches for 2 nights of WrestleMania. We're getting at least 16 matches.
Easily.
It's going to be crazy. Every night is going to be at least 4 hours long.
Once again, banger after banger after banger.
I hope that's a match that they will tag team.
That
No,
needs to be attacked. That needs to be like the opening match or something, like the pre-show match. I'll happily take that as an opening pre-show match.
and they drive in on a taxi.
Yes, that says "Banger Bros" on the taxi in the signs of Pornhub or Bang Bros.
Gracious, sponsored. But yeah, but like it's self-explanatory, and if you could, if WWE Creative, which has been going very well, can read the writing on the wall, it is Rhea time. If she loses to Charlotte, that is purely contract because
Purely,
she
yeah.
came back from whatever it is that she was gone from. Again, I don't look into the real situations of the characters. I just pay attention to the rest. It's none of my business. But it's like Charlotte comes back, immediately wins the title. So what are you telling us?
Jumped the
Obviously,
line,
yeah.
didn't even have to earn it. She just came in and said, "I'm Charlotte and I want a match." And
Right.
Ronda said, "Okay."
I would have been like, no. But you haven't seen Ronda on TV, so obviously that's the time to give her like
No, she's been on TV. They
she's
put
been
her in
on
a
TV
story
too.
with they have her in a story with Shayna. Looks like they're
Good.
pushing
Oh, that's
Shayna
where I've been.
under a rock.
Under her at work.
They're actually working a story and it's building the heck out of Shayna. It looks like they're trying to get back old Shayna Baszler, like NXT. So because
Yeah.
she's been coming out and like killing it.
Nice. I miss the old Shayna. I miss the Ace of Spades.
Yeah, she's been doing her thing out there on SmackDown.
They're trying to
But
make her like
yeah,
more girly for whatever damn reason. But that didn't work
Vince, that
out.
was a Vince move. They were
Who
trying
always
because
tries to do that?
it was well known, well documented that Vince said that she's not pretty enough to be on TV. So, and you know, Vince and a lot of those guys, those older generation guys, were like, "You got to be pretty to be on TV," kind of thing.
Yeah,
Didn't matter if you were good.
that's why I like what they're doing with Sami Zayn, because it's like that old blueprint of what a champion should look like reminds me of the storylines of Mankind and Mick Foley, and it's just like he did
Hmm.
not look the
He
way
did not
that
fit that build.
personified like a Triple H kind of champion, like he's etched from stone. The Rock, when he started, he was kind of like, he was fit and he was kind of getting there, and then he started losing weight, and you could see all the definition, and then they
Yeah.
pushed him like hard, and you're
Heck,
like,
even Stone
whoa,
Cold wasn't a solid, like he wasn't like ripped, but he
right,
was, he had a build to him. He had some
he had the
definition.
build. And then he started. He kind of changed that a little bit, but he was still fit, and he was like, I'm getting a beer belly because I don't have to pay attention to you. I'm gonna whoop your ass, take that title, and we're gonna go from there. Thank you. But but Sami Zayn reminds me of and we'll get to that later. But it reminds me of that Mankind feel, and I felt like this was going to be that Mankind pop. Even if he loses the championship on Friday, it's still a hometown glory.
Yeah, which we'll jump into that one
We'll
in a
jump into
bit.
that later. But
So I do want to jump to the next match we're going to talk about, man. This one,
this was fun.
I made a comment early when this match was about to start. Big E Langston was watching this in his Speedos, baby oil, Booty-O cereal, and spanked the ham the entire match with Booty-O milk. Because this man had big meaty men slapping meat the entire match. This was the epitome of what Big E Langston loved to see on wrestling.
Big meaty men.
This match was not a 5-star classic. This wasn't a 6-star classic. The hell, this wasn't even a 3-star classic. This was just big meaty men smacking meat all day.
10 hams, not stars, but counting hams.
Holy crap, man! This started off. I mean, just wow.
Yeah, it was.
It was a freight train, and then it looked like playing Mortal Kombat against a Filipino child at 3 a.m, where you're just button mashing.
Please explain.
It was just a button mash of attacks. All it was just like you were just smacking X and circle and just all of this, because all you kept saying was shoulder thrust, pop in the corner, and then it flipped. Bam! It was Bobby's turn. Shoulder thrust,
Yeah.
pop in the corner. It was just meaty arms hitting each other.
It literally just kept going.
Oh my god! It was entertaining. It was great. It was fun.
Yeah, it was.
I didn't care for the ending though.
I love the ending, because who would you want to lose? Because Brock Lesnar, that means that Bobby has the power and the stardom, if you will, to beat Brock Lesnar. So now you're demoting Brock Lesnar, because a lot of people have been beating Brock lately. But then if Brock wins, you take away all that was from the
almighty character.
Yes, he is the almighty. He is this force to be reckoned with, and everything they're doing behind the scenes with the Hurt Business. So it's like, you can't quite beat Brock, and you told me that you can handle it on your own. Clearly you can't. So
yeah, but I think you could have easily made it. They could have done a cheating move. They could have done something else where Brock won. Or if you're gonna let Bobby win, because the ultimate was that Bobby won on DQ. I think it wasn't that I hated the ending because it didn't make sense. I didn't care for the ending because it felt like it took away a lot from this match, because they put on a show. There was just a lot of power hits, a lot of spears, a lot of F5s, everything.
I think.
But then
yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, but then you got Brock winning losing on DQ because he kicked him in the dick. Cool beans. You saw how you want to run it, run it. But then Brock just like had a whole temper tantrum.
Yeah, he's been
and
having
just threw everybody through a table.
He threw everyone through a table. He put Bobby through a table. He looked like a madman.
The referee got F5, which shout out to the referee for not taking one, but taking 2 bumps of an F5, one on in the ring and one on a broken table. But that referee deserves a raise.
A raise or a bonus? Elimination Chamber bonus.
Because holy shit, he put him right through it. Bam! I was like, what the hell happened?
But I like this new Brock Lesnar.
Yeah,
I went to the store and the salesperson told me that the shirt looked drippy on me. Kind of Brock Lesnar. The man bun. You still can't stop him. Who would walk up to him and say, "Yeah, who? Omos?" He would still beat the shit out of Omos.
I'm pretty sure he'll pop. I always think of Brock Lesnar and tall men, and I think of Braun Strowman when at Royal Rumble when Strowman stiff hit him on accident and he went poop.
He's like, "Oh, really?"
Okay, UFC clocked him.
You remember I was a heavyweight champion for real, right? I'm gonna tag you with this knee.
He gave receipts.
He gave him the tax review from last year. He was like, "What? Not just one receipt." He gave him the whole W-2.
Whole 1099. You got it all. Eat it.
Oh man, but I enjoyed this match. I enjoyed the way that it was built because we've been praying and asking for Bobby versus Brock for a very long time. They were like, okay, here. It's like he is the rich uncle, Triple H, that just gives you what you want. When the parents are away, like Vince, here's all the candy that you want. Don't say anything. And make sure your sugar crash is done by the time they get back.
I'll tell you what, it was good to see this match not have to be for a title. It was just a grudge match, and because it just didn't need it. It was.
How weird would it look with the U.S. Championship on Brock Lesnar? Brock Lesnar is better than a championship. You don't have to put a championship on Brock. He is the championship.
And I think that shows this matches and these storylines that Brock has been running with lately has shown that Vince McMahon catered to him directly because he was afraid of whatever Brock was going to do. And Triple H looked at him and said, listen, you are going to be in the Hall of Fame, 100%.
Yeah.
You don't need the gold. I'm going to put you in big storylines that you don't need to be a champion for, and you're going to still be over on so many different levels.
All he has, his music plays in any match. He could have joined the women's elimination chamber. He would have won it. And he gets a crazy pop. He does not need any more push, and I think his contract is money to you just give him a blank check.
Yeah.
And he's even said, he's like, I don't care about money. I had the glitz and the glamour. I had the big house. I had the fancy cars. I sold all of that, and he had the little hot rod. You remember the red rod, hot rod that he had? And it was like,
he barely fit in.
Yeah, I wonder if he still has that car. But he went wherever in bumfuck Egypt. He went and built his.
He's in Canada. He actually lives in Saskatchewan.
There you go, in the woods. So
he's like 40 minutes from where they wrestled last night.
Perfect. He has his compound. He has his life. He likes to be very secluded. I don't think he cares about money. He cares about 1, respect, and 2, what can I do? So you give this man his respect and you give him the creative control. You have an endless Brock Lesnar. And look what it has done. He is
definitely was
that he's ever been physically and stardom wise. And he has the man bun because of his children. Thank you to his girls. and his boy, because he's growing up to be the next Brock Lesnar. And it's like, how awesome is it to be a WWE fan or a wrestling fan in general when you don't have to shove it in our face? It's like, we know for the 8th year in a row, we know. But now we have the same ingredients, but just a different. It's like a different menu.
Yeah,
And, we're still serving you chicken, but it's not, it's not barbecue
it's
chicken
garlic
anymore.
chicken.
It's garlic chicken. It's PrimeTime Noodle peanut chicken. It has a little more flavor to it. It's not just regular old dollar store, barbecue.
You're not getting tofu anymore. You're sitting there getting some other stuff.
Yeah, we didn't put it in the oven this time. We bust out the grill. It's a nice charcoal flavor there to it. It's the same ingredients, but just such better flavor with what they're doing. We are so lucky to have storylines that captivate our interest and don't fall after a week because he forgot.
Yeah, or I
Or
got
he
bored of it.
refuses. He got bored of it because he doesn't understand it, or I forgot and I refuse to ask them, or anybody who's in creative control what's going on. It was like, can you just watch last week's and see where
Too
you're
much
left
work.
off? Like, too much. I'm gonna rewrite this thing an hour before the show's going to go, and if you don't like it, you can leave.
That's why Cena used to write his things on his wrist because he was like, I don't know what we're doing anymore.
What's
And I
going?
was practicing up until like that last hour and you changed it on me again. So now I
Mm-hmm.
gotta write this shit on my wrist
All
because
that.
fuck
You know
you.
how long it takes when you have one ring and a performance center? If you're away from that and you have to practice lines and spots, and then on an hour before the show they change it, it's like, well, we can't practice now.
Like I have no time to prep this shit. That's why some of the promos used to be very lackluster
Yeah,
during those times because he changed it so
and
often right before the show. They were like, how do I practice what I'm supposed to say when I don't know if you're gonna take it away from me?
yeah, or mid match. He was notorious for doing that. I'll tell the ref over his microphone that we're changing who wins and how it wins. And now I got to look at these guys and say, hey, change plans. But they still have to go through the match.
Yep, they still gotta go through the whole
So now you have
rigmarole of the
change the
storytelling in
spot,
the ring for it not to make sense at the end of it. Like, wait a second.
but he doesn't like improv. It was crazy. Anyway, next match.
Next match.
enough of Vince. Let's rate the
All
ass.
right. So next match goes to the men's elimination chamber. Man, this was I was very, very confused with this one because not confused in a bad way. I was like, man, who do I think is gonna win, and who do I really root for? Because all of these guys in their respect deserve this specific title, and I think every single one of them, even Theory, can actually take this title to bigger heights.
I think Theory, they're gearing up Theory to be what Vince saw in him, not just aesthetically. It was like, oh, you look like how John Cena looked when he was younger, and that worked out. So let's push you the same way. It's like, no, you have talent and you're young, but you're also very good at listening. He could take it. He doesn't have to do that selfie thing anymore, or like, oh look, I'm camming or whatever. He doesn't have to do that anymore. Sometimes he does, but he's a more serious character, and he's become
Yep.
more focused. I like that they didn't give it to Gargano just yet, even though Gargano is very good. I like that they didn't give it to Damian Priest just yet because he's great, but you got to focus on Rhea for right now. So I think it would undermine his win because Rhea's going to be at WrestleMania.
Yep.
So what do you do with Finn? So, and what do you do? Like, do they go like Finn and Dom? Do they go for the tag titles and now the Judgment Day holds all the gold kind of thing, or like what do you do in that sense? But
I think
forward,
Judgment Day is gonna have a big push in after Mania.
yes,
Don't be
I think that's
surprised
an
that you see
after
them with more gold than you think.
I think that's an after Mania kind of thing. I mean, you got Seth Rollins with the Logan Paul thing. I don't have anything bad to say about Logan Paul other than he's a YouTuber, but wrestling has always brought in fans. Thank you for putting that up. But keep that. Yeah, like like they've always brought celebrities, and in the last 10 years, 10, 15 years, the definition of what a celebrity has changed. So now you have people like Pat McAfee, you have YouTubers that are coming in. You have like the sponsorships are a little different. The type of uh, clientele that you're looking for is going to be different. So why not have somebody like Logan Paul? who is famous literally for talking shit on YouTube.
Yep.
And him and his brother, and they're doing great. Like you're beating Anderson Silva. Like I don't care how he could be 100, you still beat Anderson Silva. You still had matches with Mayweather. You still like you're giving your all when you step into that ring. Not because you like wrestling, but that you see how serious it could be. You don't care about it, but obviously that's just a storyline hub because if you didn't care about it, why would
You
he
wouldn't
do
be there.
spots like why he wouldn't be there, and two, why would he do spots the way he did with Ricochet at Royal Rumble?
Oh
That
yeah,
is
that jumping.
etched in my mind. I have never seen anyone do that, and Ultimo Dragon was in the WWE. He was known for
That's
doing
right.
things like that. And it's like, why haven't we seen that before? Because it hasn't been thought of before, and there's the drive to do something that risky hasn't been done before.
True.
And I was like, that single spot, even if he did nothing in the match, that spot in my head has said he at least acknowledges how important it is to show the fans that you care. And that's
Yeah.
why I respect
And
Logan
my
Paul.
only thing, and I respect Logan Paul's athleticism because I think he's definitely showed how athletic he was. His first match he had in the ring, when he wrestled against Roman,
Yes.
and every match after that he's been really good with.
And he
Um,
destroyed his knee in that match, and he came back for a Rumble and did
yep.
crazy shit like that.
And not many people can jump back after tearing an ACL and saying, "Hey,
A
um,
few pay-per-views,
like
I don't think even one pay-per-view pass.
I
You
think I
can't
think
get
he
that.
had like 2 pay-per-views in between, but even that, it's still
Crazy.
like you tear an ACL, you're normally out for a good year.
Yeah.
6 is like 8 months to a year.
And he came back.
Because
He's like,
most
I'm back.
I'm back and now watch me do this jump spot. Like
and destroy my head because he did
you
not tech. He just bang, and he was like, I'm out. He just rolled
give me a
out of
minute.
the he rolled out of the ring for the rest of the match. It was like, yeah, you hit
But
hard, man.
I am gonna jump back to this match.
Mhm.
Because yes, Logan does come at the end of the match to pretty much ruin Seth Rollins' chance to get the title. Again,
Right.
Seth Rollins doesn't
But,
really need the title. I
we
think
got plenty of it.
he's way above what the title would bring him.
He is a fashionista. He is a fashionista. He doesn't need any title. He doesn't need anything. He is his own brand, and I love the boots that he wore the other day.
Oh, the
So
Astro Boy
terrible.
boots.
The Astro Boy, terrible. I don't know. It was like some old guy that made those fun, and he just wore them. And I like,
It's been going around, and I'm
terrible.
glad he wore it, but I wanted to see him take it off because
Yeah, it's like,
I've seen
go.
videos of other people take it off, and they were being dragged down the street pretty much. But back to this match, Montez Ford and Bronson Reed are the two I really wanted to focus on.
Yeah,
Johnny Gargano,
I was
you know
thinking
what you're
the
gonna
same
get
thing.
with him. Damian Priest, you know what you're gonna get from him. Austin Theory really stepped up his game in the ring,
Yes,
and you got Seth freaking Rollins, who is Seth freaking
he
Rollins.
was pressed Seth freaking hard. Yeah, but this was a
But
time for Montez Ford and Bronson Reed to show who they
to
are.
showcase,
A
and boy,
single
did they
contender.
show it.
Yeah,
I think Montez Ford, who I thought was gonna win I actually picked him to win the title because I think they're gonna separate Street Profits for a bit, or forever, who knows. But I think Montez Ford spots. He's not just a spot junkie. He's not just a um guy who can just jump and do some flippy shit. He has been on it. He has done great storylines. His in-ring is, I mean, astronomically better than what it was when he first came to NXT. And I think his promo skills, his mic skills are just
yeah.
off the walls.
His energy, and he's just so athletic. Like his energy on the mic is great. Like he doesn't really miss a beat. Like you see some people like they'll go through their promo and they'll fumble a little bit because they're
He
still
ad
trying to
libs
get
a
it
lot,
right.
and it
Yeah,
works.
it's improv, and you could tell. And it's like there's a structure there, like who, what, when, and why, obviously. But he goes through it himself, and Dawkins is really good at that too. But at a different level, he's more smooth,
Yep.
while Montez Ford is more intense. And that's, I don't want them to break up the Street Profits without having them with a significant title run before they break that up. But I see the potential in both of them. They're
Yeah.
both future champions at any level. You could give the U.S. championship to Montez Ford. You could give the Intercontinental Championship to Dawkins.
Angelo.
Yeah, to Angelo Dawkins. You can give the you could split the main titles and create a whole new world for what makes a champion, and then eventually down the line you can have a Dawkins versus Ford,
Yeah,
champion
I can see
versus
that.
champion. That would be crazy because they feed off each other and they're so good together, and it's just like it's wow. So like I hate to see this. You have to have a singles run thing because for me, tag team and chemistry, as we know, I mean, this is chemistry. For us to go, it's hard for me to do my uh the Robbie's Horror Corner without you there because the chemistry is what I see. So me doing it on my own is a little more effort. Now,
Yeah,
your FOV, I see that you have that push because you usually have the control of our chemistry when it comes to where we go and the structure of things, the foundation of it. That's easier for you. But like as a team, it's always better. I feel like our
yeah.
videos are better.
You can see when it where that where the energy just kind of clicks and it matches
Exactly.
versus when you're on your own. Even like jumping on what you're saying, when I'm by myself and I'm trying to do it, it's hard for me to kind of find that rhythm.
Right.
Normally, I'm with you, I have that rhythm and work with it. So I see what you mean with that whole Angelo Dawkins strip, and
Mm,
Street Profits. Breaking that up with kind of, what else? What are you going to do with that? You can
right.
easily give them single pushes and still keep them a team.
Right.
But I feel Montez Ford may have, because there's just certain promos that were cut during SmackDown, and and during Raw, that you could see like, okay, this is about to get this is showing some weird signs.
Yeah.
So I
I hate
think,
that. Is the importance of tag team, like tag team chemistry, and the importance of just tag teams in general. They always have to push a singles run. And it's like, why? The Dudley Boys, the
they
Hardys, Edge and Christian. Oh, that's bad. That's
yeah,
bad because
they both actually
well,
had pretty good solid.
it's solid. Yeah, but like the importance of just tag teams in general, you can make it to the Hall of Fame just being tag team. Period.
Yeah.
You
But
know, you
I
just
get it
have
though, because every wrestler always dreams of holding that title and being world heavyweight champion. Everyone wanted it to be Hulk Hogan. Everyone wanted it to be John Cena.
yeah,
So it's hard to say, oh well, you don't have to split up the tag team, but there's other people who have dreams to be solo runs too. So
yeah,
it's
that's
a
true.
give and take. I definitely think
It is.
breaking them up would be
If it's
hard.
done correctly, it's good.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be hard to see them solo if this does go that route.
Mm,
I definitely feel like they are a much better tandem together than they are being solo. But
mm,
Montez Ford is a great, showman. He's a great wrestler, athletic as all hell. So I
mm.
would love to see what they would do if they did give him a singles push. Bronson Reed, though, first off, he looked weight wise a lot smaller than when he first came to NXT. Before his initial
Mm.
release,
Oh
he did look
yes,
like he lost a little bit of weight.
right.
But his in ring ability
He's more
of
agile.
not
I
just
was gonna say that.
he's much more agile. He is very much like a Bam Bam Bigelow guy,
Yes,
and
I was gonna say either that or Samoa Joe to be more modern.
yeah, but he has that Bam Bam Bigelow
That's
more of
Bam
a
Bam.
feel because he does the running, that Vader bomb kind of move he does, and you could definitely see where he has that build and push from. He's definitely done a lot better. His in ring
Mhm.
ability when he came in stole the show. I definitely think he's gonna be world champion. If not by end of year, by
Mhm.
beginning of next year, I could see them giving him a good push for it.
Mhm.
I think eventually he'll take over the U.S. title.
Yes,
Um, I think he definitely will at least get that to
I'd like
start
to
off
see
his singles
like
run.
him versus Gunther if
Oh
there
my
was such a
god.
show. But I mean, it's all. They should just make it a federation by this point. Just you could go wherever the hell. Like
Yeah,
because
like let
at
it
this
bounce around.
point,
I'm okay with it,
yeah,
but I
you
get
have a
it. It
title for
creates clean
SmackDown.
stories.
It does create clean stories, but like you have like a title for SmackDown and a title for Raw, where it's like heavyweight women's tag, and then like a mid card. and like a women's mid card. If they want to do that, they have the woman part for that. But people could just go back and
Yeah.
forth. It should be fine. But hopefully that's the direction that they're going, because having one champion, like, oh yeah, like Roman Reigns holding all the gold or so, it gets a little bit tedious. I can only imagine that it's like very exhausting. You know,
Yeah.
that you're not only for the other guys who are like, I could be champion, right? But it's also for the champion himself as this show. You gotta go on that show. The
Oh, you know
storyline
what
around
though?
is pretty good.
And that this is a great segue because what I wanted to bring up, our next match, which was the main event,
Yeah, that's
is
all I was talking about.
yep, and it goes right to Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn. This match was such an emotional match. I was emotionally invested. I was physically invested into this match. Um, they were by all rights on a whole nother playing field. This
This was
match,
good.
wow.
Yeah,
I just can't. I'm just kind of wow with this match because everything, the storytelling on it, the Sami Zayn's wife was on ringside with his
I
kids.
know. And
Um,
Roman's like talking. It's like breaking the fourth wall, kind of.
mm-hmm.
It's like, I'm talking to you. I'm telling you, we loved you. You were my family. I wanted to provide for you. I was like, yeah, this is great story. And she played into it so well.
Yeah,
She was so emotional. She was damn near crying. Like, she's a great actress on her own accord. Like, that they told her what, and she's been following the story. You can always tell when a family, like, oh, we watch it or we don't. Like, she watches every nook and cranny of what's going on.
well, he's been in wrestling for so long. I'm sure that he's done spots in indies where she semi got involved, so I'm sure she
Yeah.
kind of knows the craft.
Yeah. It was beautiful to watch. To me, this match, the ending, I would have loved to have Sammy get his mankind Mick Foley. This is the dream come true ending.
That Jim
But
Ross ending where it says, "Baby boys got the title."
yeah, for Mrs. Foley's baby boy. Like, it was like that kind of feeling, because he's that kind of character. You don't expect him, even though he's a great athlete and I never favored him in NXT or in the Indies, but I know talent when I see it. So, like, I didn't favor him, but you could see that he's good. And is
Yep.
he to beat Roman Reigns at in your hometown for the titles? You could sway that going towards WrestleMania any way you want to. And I felt when Jimmy came out that Jay would come out and cost Roman the titles.
Yeah, I thought so too. On that
But
moment, I was like, "Ooh,
you could see like he's conflicted and it's more storytelling, but I feel like they should have pulled the trigger on that, because he kind of just stood there and did nothing. So it was
I
just
like
like,
that he
okay,
did that because it's still
it,
adding. Remember, they still got a Mania match they got to do, and it's
yes,
2 nights of Mania.
yes.
So
So
I think this. So remember, I told you on the last pay per view that we covered,
yes.
that I felt Roman Reigns would be defending the SmackDown title or the Universal title against
Mhm.
Sammy, and the WWE title
Cody.
against Cody. I think this match right here was the tester to see
Ah,
if this could be a match for Mania.
and it can.
And I think definitely it can. I think after
This
watching that match, I could see this as a Mania match.
this is the first time in what, 2 or 3 years that I've heard a crowd against Roman.
In
Even
this
if he's doing
capacity.
bad, even if he's doing good, it was always majority in this capacity. It was always majority. Roman he's God mode. Roman is the tribal chief. You can't get away from it. And it's like, okay, that's good. But for pretty much an entire, like, the crowd played into it so well, and I don't think it's
Fuck
only
you,
because,
Roman.
yes, and it's like, I don't think they only did it because it was Sammy's hometown. We're in Canada. But it was also the emotional investment to this storyline and how good it is and how it's been paced.
I think he would have gotten the same reaction had it been in Texas, had it been in California. I mean,
Exactly.
it could have
It
been
doesn't
anywhere
matter.
else, and it would have mattered because the fans
Yeah.
are now in love with this.
Yes. And I want to see what they do for WrestleMania. I hope it's a title split, and they have to challenge Roman Reigns as like you're gonna wrestle probably 4 matches in 2 days. Like it's everybody's gonna be after you. It's like
Yep.
if they come to terms with The Rock, it's a tribal chief versus like it's like who is the actual tribal chief? So he has to face Rock. Now he has a title match that same night, so he loses to Sam. Now he has to go next and fight like Jay because
It's a whole nother drama he
supremacy
has to deal
title
with.
thing, and he has to keep him in check. And then that same night he's going to go to Cody, and it's like that is so much better than dropping both titles to one guy and then like the next Raw, like you unveil like a new title. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's together. It's like, yeah, but we only have one championship, so we're going over this bullshit again. Like
Yeah.
there are so many guys that deserve that championship, and there's so many guys on your roster. There's so many stories that you can tell. You need two championships. You need to
Yep.
split it up, and I think they know that because
I think this is the build up for it. I think they know Roman
yeah,
won't be here much longer.
mm,
Because it's already known that once he loses this title, he's gonna slim down to a part-time role and he'll just kind of fade out like Cena did.
he's
Um,
done his due because the way that they were pushing him when it was Brock Lesnar versus him 8 times in a row wasn't working. They needed a proper storyline, and nobody gave a damn until the Bloodline came. It
and
was
he's held the title a
perfect.
couple times. He's had some pretty decent runs. This has
Yeah,
been his
nobody gave a shit.
easily his best run he's ever done.
Yeah,
I definitely can. I've always been a Roman Reigns fan. When he
mm.
came up, um,
Oh,
I
I was a
thought
big
he should
Shield
have been
fan.
champion 3 times over before his first time he won it.
Mm.
Um, I think that Vince went about it very, very wrong in how he pushed him because I think he's held the title like 5 times,
Something like that. I don't remember how many
something
times,
like that. Yeah, he's held the
but
title like 5 times. They had a lot of certain stories that was like it didn't make sense to me for
to
him.
me, to me, it doesn't matter how many times he's held the championship or the titles. This run, this title run, this 900 plus days has been so much better because sometimes you forget that he's champ.
Mm-hmm.
If it weren't for the wise man Paul Heyman carrying those titles around, it would just be he's the tribal chief, and how are
Yeah,
you going to stop me?
and I think he could
It's
still roll with that even after
because
he loses the title.
exactly it has to be a situation where he loses the championships, but he's still so relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Like you needed so much to beat me, and you can't beat me on your own.
Well, and which is great that you said that because I thought, and I think I texted you this morning or last night.
Mm,
This match, what made it even better wasn't the fact that Roman won and that Sammy got this humongous pop. I think Sammy, um, his he he came so close to winning this title, 100%. And I think that Sammy did a great job showing that he belongs as he was an NXT World Champion for a
mm-hmm.
good time,
For quite a
and
while.
he has every right to be in the main title picture. And I
Mm-hmm.
think he's definitely gonna get like this here showed that he belongs.
Yes.
Um, but I think what made this match even more important was that for the first time, Roman Reigns had a cheat to win his
Yeah.
championship, though he's been bad the entire time. And
Mm-hmm.
fans have still been loving this character because this character is a great character for
Never
him.
had to cheat.
He's won every match very legitimately. I think only one match where the bloodline kind of got involved was like during the COVID time when he was holding it,
Mm-hmm.
and they had no fans. And then they had like Jimmy and Jay come in and the first KO versus Roman match.
Oh yes.
So I definitely
Or
feel
Clash of the Castle with Sokoa.
where Sokoa
Yeah.
came in, and it was, and if you notice, those cheats were like really aside from the one I've mentioned with
Yes.
during the COVID time with Roman and KO, But the one at Clash of the Castle, it was just a quick appearance. He did what he had to do, and it wasn't like anything fully to disrupt the match, because whatever he did would have, McIntyre could have easily popped back and won the match, but it was enough to win.
Yes.
This was the first time where the referee had to get knocked. Both referees got knocked out. You had Jimmy come in and super kick party the hell out of Sammy. He tenderized the hell out of them cheeks. And then you also had the Jay coming in to kind of break. And then I love that dynamic of, you can see Jay still conflicted, still fighting like you my cousin, but Sammy became my ride or die after I didn't like him. I loved him.
He was like a beaten dog. He looked like a to me, not to be disrespectful to him, but he looked like a beaten dog from the original owner. But that across the street there's a better one. Like it's like somebody's getting belly rubs, or you get walks, and then this one you're getting your ass kicked because he's getting drunk at night. And he's like, I don't want to bite the hand that feeds me, but I know there's a better hand across the street that could beat. And he's like, I don't want to do it, and then he ends up getting hit.
When he grabbed the chair, and when Roman gave it to him,
I thought it was gonna be the same spot.
I was like, Roman, did you not learn your lesson? He did the exact same thing with Sammy.
That could have been it, like a bang. Even if
I think the roof would have fell off had that happened.
Even if Sammy didn't win, it was like the chair shot and him and Jimmy just like, what the hell? What's going on? What are you doing? And then either way, like it still wasn't enough to beat the Tribal Chief, or if it was just enough to beat the Tribal Chief.
It would definitely would have been a good spot to see. I think definitely this sets it up for Mania. I think we're gonna see a good Raw and a good SmackDown, because Roman's gonna be like, "What's wrong with you?"
What the hell, Jay?
He mushed him the entire way.
Push him in the face. What the hell?
I was like, okay, Roman, again, you did this to Sammy, and look what happened the last time.
You got bit.
So I definitely want to see where this is gonna go. I think this is definitely gonna set up a great match for Roman, and where we may get what I mentioned earlier, where you see the belt split. Sammy goes for the the Universal, and Cody goes for the WWE title, which is the main title he really cares for. Because the only other way I can see this happening is that if you let Roman and Cody go for the one title, Cody wins the Universal or the Undisputed Championship, and he splits the title and vacates the Universal Championship, which will set up an eventual Roman versus Sammy again, or KO versus Roman for the Universal.
Right.
That's the only other way I could see that kind of rolling with it. If they don't do the split, but I definitely think this match showed so much of Sammy's character, showed so much of his talent. He did spots he hasn't done since NXT. He did the in-between rope spot, even though it failed. He hasn't done that in-between. Oh my God, that used to be one of my favorite spots to do. And he did it, even though it failed. It was good to see him do right through the ropes. I love that spot.
You could tell like he was digging into his treasure chest there. Just like, what do I do? What does it take for me to win these things?
Don't be surprised if on Mania he comes back clean cut, beard, fixes the beard, and comes back looking like NXT Sammy to win the title.
I can see that happening. I like this rugged look though. It reminds me so much of Mankind.
It reminds me of Che. It sounds like he's about to start a whole revolution.
I like it because it makes him look like so much more of an underdog. Like he's battered, he's tethered.
He looks like an underdog nonetheless.
Like he's very much underdog, and I like that look. When he wins the championship, clean cut.
Let's see. I think when it's time to win, you'll see him clean cut. We will see him clean cut. That'll be my prediction.
you come on over for WrestleMania. We're doing 2 nights. You can sleep over.
Oh, I'll cuddle.
Okay. That's mandatory. Anyway, we got all topic. Hey, you got anything else, brother?
Well, I just want to say, what do you think about this right now? After this match, this is it. This is now the road to Mania happens. So, what do you think of the build-up of Mania?
Build up of Mania is great. Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte, awesome. Hopefully they give Rhea her due. In front of a huge crowd. That would be great.
In LA.
Yeah. I think Asuka wins the championship. That's
I agree.
just going to be huge. You don't repackage and do all that push for nothing. Even though Bianca is a great champion, and either way, it's going to be an amazing match. Seth versus Logan Paul is going to be awesome. Let's just hope that Logan doesn't kill himself between now and then.
He tears it out his elbow.
Yeah, I do want to like whatever they do with Gunther going into WrestleMania, amazing. I love what they've done with him. I've gotten used to the name of Gunther, except for Walter. I do love that they were trying to hint at Gunther versus Brock Lesnar. But
yeah, that would be that would be just scary. Oh,
awesome.
And let's not mention, and I don't know if you saw this Friday SmackDown, but Bray Wyatt called out the winner of the Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar match.
Whoever wins, run. I was like, and that's why I like the ending. I love the ending. I forgot about that. Thank you, because like I love the ending to it because it sets up a triple threat.
Easily
a triple threat.
Sets up Gunther versus Brock Lesnar and Bobby versus Bray.
Yes. And you're seeing more of Howdy, and I don't care who says what, but I've seen pictures of Bo Dallas outside, and the body type just fits. So.
Oh yeah, no. Once I saw him in the ring on Friday, I said that is Bo.
That's Bo. He was side by side with Bray, and I was just like, and I looked it up, and I was like, oh yeah, that's Bo. Yeah, that's 100% bro. Just take the mask off. Like, just hurry up and take
the mask on him. I like it because it definitely is adding more mystery to him. But
yeah,
we can definitely jump into that a little bit more closer to Mania.
And the Roman storylines, I don't know what they're gonna do with The Rock, but that takes a week or two, maybe. Like one good promo with Roman versus Rock, and you've set up that match, so it doesn't take long.
Okay.
Okay. Right. It's like if they do that. But, Sammy versus Roman, obviously we're going to get Cody versus Roman. It's just going to be awesome. Like,
yep.
And then not to mention, I'm not sure if they've done it yet, but is there a Money in the Bank match at WrestleMania, or is that still a pay-per-view?
I think right now it's gonna set as a pay-per-view, or it'll be a one-off match that they'll eventually will do. But I don't think you'll see that in Mania, because normally the Money in the Bank is good until Mania. So after Mania, you start a new one to kind of run the clock up again.
Right. But I miss how it used to be. Like it was at Mania, and it like kind of opens Mania. It would be like night one.
Yeah.
And then you could cash in at it, like so it adds that tension. Like, oh, what if Gargano was done?
But I think that's also why they do the Andre the Giant challenge now.
Oh, okay.
The Battle Royal, and then they do the Mae Young. Is it the Mae Young Classic or the Mae Young they do the women's one, the women's version now too.
Yeah, I think it's a Mae Young. I'm not sure. They changed the name all the time. So there's a lot. They've changed a lot. But anyway, yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be cool. I can't wait. Just in a nutshell, not to ramble on, and I'm notorious for doing that, but WrestleMania is going to be great. It's going to be a fun 2 nights. I'm taking Monday off. I don't care what my job's at. I'm leaving anyway. So it's like, well, I'm just going to tell you, like, look, I need May 3rd. May. I need April 3rd off. All right, cool. Anyway.
Yeah, well. Well, everybody, you've heard our take on it. Let's see what you guys want. If you guys thought that it was great, drop a comment in our section down there. Let us know. We'll definitely interact there. Also, guys, like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Please, we'd love to see you continuously with us and following through with us as we continue going forward.
Yes.
And also follow us on our Twitter and our Instagram page where we will be posting new updates. Robbie, anything else, man?
No. I'm really good right now. I like the structure to get away from the topic. I like the structure of what we're doing with Rated F. Guys, we're doing a lot of stuff and we have a lot of ideas behind the scenes. I did see that for the horror corner that a lot of people were looking at that. We were trying to see and find ways to get more viewership and to branch out and to get the rest of YouTube looking at our brand and to get into the hundreds and the thousands and the holy millions of views. But it's baby steps. But we're trying our best, and the FOV is doing great. I love what Felix has been doing with that. I'm very proud of you with that, and we will continue to evolve on a budget. and give you the content that you guys are seeking for, man. So we'll see you next weekend.
Yep, we'll see you guys next weekend. Till then.
Peace.
Wow, this is the thrill. Welcome to the thrill. Giving you something that's real. Tell me how you really feel. Now that you're hearing the thrill. I was all on my own. Now we're looking at it home. Spit the dish up from the dome. I look at we gone, and this is the thrill. Welcome to the thrill. Giving you something that's real. Tell me how you really